exclusive investigation. A former sergeant and a former deputy from the Lee County Sheriff's Office break their silence and explain what they say happened during an arrest that got them and another deputy fired. Thanks for joining us. I'm Lois Tomey.
I'm Chris Safadi. Sheriff Carmine Marcino announced their terminations on Facebook in October, writing, quote, "Use of force was not properly reported and documented. Sergeant Christopher Meyer and Deputy Bradley Davidson were both fired for conduct unbecoming a law enforcement officer, untruthfulness in reports, and for lack of job knowledge and performance. On top of that, Meyer was also fired for improper use of force." Marcino claimed a criminal investigation is underway and didn't answer our questions about it. Wink News investigative reporter Celine MacArthur digs into the arrest that led to the firings and has the video that's at the center of this investigation.
Look at Sheriff Carmine Marcino's Facebook post, and you'll also see he shut down your ability to comment or ask questions. I wanted to learn.
I don't know if that's lawful. If you're an elected official and it's a government page, that could be criminal in itself.
Learn more, but LCSO won't release the case file because there's an open criminal investigation. I also asked LCSO for an interview with the sheriff, but they have not provided me with an answer. In the meantime, I do have an exclusive copy of the internal affairs summary for former Sergeant Christopher Meyer. He says he gave it to me to back up his story about what happened to 45-year-old Corey Samick during the arrest that got him fired.
It's 2 a.m. August 17th. LCSO deputies Alexander Ritchie and Brad Davidson are on the scene of a traffic stop near this gas station at Kingston Drive and Palm Beach Boulevard in Tice. Sergeant Meyer drives up to check on them.
I hear yelling in the background, like people yelling at each other, and I'm like, what the heck is going on?
Meyer says Samick, who appears drunk, approaches them carrying an open can of the alcoholic beverage, Twisted Tea.
In Deputy Ritchie's face, cursing him out, yelling at him. He's continuing to threaten to fight me.
Telling us to take our vests off, telling us to take our gun belts off, and wanting to fight us in the middle of the street.
Meyer asked Samick to leave.
We typically try not to arrest people for very minor county ordinance if we can help it. So we're trying to get rid of this guy. Just telling him to move on, get out of here, leave us alone.
Samick won't go. Meyer goes into the gas station to see if the night manager wants him removed from the property. The sergeant gets a yes to the trespass, but still can't convince Samick to leave.
I go, if you don't go, you're going to jail. That's the last warning. After that, I have to do something. And he continues. I'm not leaving.
What happens next is captured on the gas station's surveillance camera. Meyer tells me he went back 4 days later with his personal cell phone to record the 45 seconds you're about to see. A video he says he provided to LCSO and the state attorney's office.
I go to grab his hand. He's facing me. I'm probably closer than you and I are right now. I mean, as close as you can get to where I can reach out and actually touch you. He yanks away. I don't know if when he turns, if he's going to swing at me or not. I punch him before he can do that.
Meyer then grabs Samick and takes him to the ground.
It wasn't a clean takedown because he's resisting me. So I sort of stumble, I take him down and I fall basically on top of him.
What you can't see in Meyer's zoomed-in recording is deputies Ritchie and Davidson standing feet away, watching. Ritchie tells LCSO investigators he was, quote, evaluating where he could be best used to assist. Davidson says he, quote, did not see how it would make a positive effect.
Do you think you did anything wrong?
I could have acted a little quicker in helping Sergeant Meyer detain him. I could not have prevented any injury because I never explicitly watched any injury-causing behavior.
So I'm wrestling with this guy, and I'm giving him orders to give me his hands. And I give him multiple strikes. I give him probably 3 strikes. In the torso areas, he doesn't stop. Still trying to throw me off of him. So I continue, I give him a couple more, 2 or 3. Stop again, give him another opportunity. Give me your hands. Nope, gave him a couple more. The other guys in this quick ordeal come up behind and help me dig his hands out. We put him in the car. That was the last time that we saw him, or last time that I saw him.
I found Samick at the gas station. He didn't want to be interviewed on camera, but talked to me about what happened. I showed him the surveillance video. Samick argues it's proof he didn't resist and claims at least another one of Meyer's punches you see him throw landed on his face. LCSO Defensive Tactics Coordinator Captain Scott Griffith deemed the level of force used by Meyer in the video, quote, appeared to be in accordance with LCSO policy and procedures. However, had Davidson and Ritchie intervened, it, quote, could have potentially prevented further injuring Mr. Sammick. Sammick also tells me and LCSO investigators the use of force didn't stop there, claiming he was struck by 4 deputies while handcuffed.
There was not a strike, not one, where he was handcuffed and secured.
But Meyer and Davidson can't prove that with the video Meyer chose to record on his personal cell phone. The IA summary shows that Sammick was handcuffed at 2 a.m., but he wasn't removed from the gas station and taken to the hospital until 3 a.m. So there is 1 hour that's unaccounted for, and the gas station video is long gone. So
Yeah, that's going to be a witness statement taking, cleanup, evidence. You could be there for a lot longer than an hour than that.
the potentially incriminating or exonerating evidence is gone for good.
It's better than nothing. Because if we didn't have that video, they'd be going off of strictly his word.
The amount of time that is unaccounted for is simply...
Well, number one, let me break this down. I've never seen fucking use of force video where cops didn't fucking use force. You can look at the number one, if you look at the demeanor of these guys, it makes complete sense why when you listen to this guy, why he didn't go hands-on. He doesn't have testosterone. I mean, this guy is really not that masculine. Holy shit. I've never seen this where it's like, yeah, we have a problem. We have cops who didn't use force. I want to break this down. So it's a drunk they see. Already if they're saying, hey, listen, we don't want to do anything. These are not cops who are looking to get into a fight. They're cops who are not looking to you got Hillbilly Jim, who's drunk off his ass, looking for a fight. That still, he's, going to be an ass. Drunk muscles are fun. It is what it is.
A video he says he...
If you look at this, how this sergeant is, if you look at his body language, he's not threatening. He's not leaning in. He's not getting in this guy's face. He's imploring. Would you please just go? Look at his body language as he talks to this guy.
Later with his personal cell phone to record the 45 seconds you're about to see. A video he says he provided to LCSO and the state attorney's office.
I go to grab...
Look how gentle he goes to go hands-on, too. This guy is not looking for a fight. He's gently going to take this person into custody. This cop could have been fed up with this guy's bullshit, just wanted to have his coffee. It's night. I want to go hide behind a building somewhere and just surf my phone and shit. But now he's got to make an arrest because the store owner doesn't want him there. This cop gave him every chance. And if you look at it again, look at his body language and then look at how gingerly he goes to take him into custody. This cop is not looking to give someone the beatdown.
With his personal cell phone to record the 45 seconds you're about to see. A video he says he provided to LCSO and the state attorney's office.
I go to grab his hand. He's facing me. I'm probably closer than you and I are right now. I mean, as close as you can get to where I can reach out and actually touch you. He yanks away. I don't know if...
Yanking away is resisting. It is. And if this guy if this cop is one-on-one and the guy has been belligerent, he's already made the statement, I want to fight you. If his fist is balled up, yes, you can use a striking technique, a stunning technique to change the direction of how this is going to go to get him in handcuffs. A punch, nothing unlawful about that. He's already made a statement he wants to fight. This cop has given him multiple excuses, reasons to leave. The guy doesn't want to, clearly indicating, hey, take me into custody. I want to fucking fight. The cop has to do his job, takes him into custody, in my opinion, very softly. He was not direct enough in that content. You just saw him go right down. Very, very softly for the cuffs. And then he issues a striking tactic to change the guy's state to put him in cuffs.
He yanks away. I don't know if when he turns,
not a
if
problem.
he's going to swing at me or not. I punch him before he can do that.
Meyer then grabs Sammick.
Perfect takedown. I have no problem with this whatsoever, especially when you're by yourself.
And takes him to the ground.
It wasn't a clean takedown because he's resisting.
No takedowns are clean. That was fine. That takedown was completely fine.
So I sort of stumble, I take him down and I fall basically on top of him.
What you can't see in Meyer's zoomed-in recording is deputies Ritchie and Davidson standing feet away, watching. Ritchie tells LCSO investigators he was, quote, evaluating where he could be best used to assist.
So he's fucking lazy.
Davidson says he, quote, did not see how it would make a positive effect.
So he shouldn't have been a cop in the first place?
Do you think you did anything wrong?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I didn't show up and do my job, and I let another cop do all the work, which probably put this man's life in a little bit more harm's way because the cop had to punch him too many times because I should have showed up and done some fucking work.
Have acted a little quicker.
100%. Everybody they fired this guy because they were sick of him. This sergeant, I don't know. To me, I'll give you my opinion in a second.
In helping Sergeant Meyer detain him. I could not have prevented any injury because
I know that sergeants do not have union protection. I think that's the case. I think with the other two or whoever else was fired, they were looking for a reason, clearly, because they don't work. If this sergeant was doing the right thing by giving this guy multiple opportunities to go home, hey, you're drunk, go home. A lot of departments don't like that. They want the person arrested because it increases the numbers to show, hey, we're doing our job. We're getting the drunks off the street. Hey, look, the police care. And they can justify its community caretaking. Well, you took him into custody because if he didn't, he could have gone home. He could have broken into somebody's home, could have, robbed somebody's dog out of their yard, could have set the car on fire. But you did the right thing by taking him into custody. I've never seen this. I've never seen two cops stand around while one cop is taking somebody into custody on the ground. I've never seen this. This is insane.
I never explicitly watched any injury-causing behavior.
So I'm wrestling with this guy, and I'm giving him orders to give me his hands. And I give him multiple strikes. I give him probably...
Giving him strikes because it looks like the guy has the cop around the neck.
3 strikes.
Looks like he's
in
holding
the torso areas.
It looks like he's holding on, like around the cop's neck.
Stop. Still trying to throw me off of him. So I continue. I give him a couple more. 2 or 3. Stop again. Give him another opportunity. Give me your hands. Nope. Gave him a couple more.
Yeah, the guy got injured because these other cops, all they had to do was take this guy's wrist, put his hands in the handcuffs, and then that sergeant would not have had to strike the subject so many times. I don't know why the sergeant is fired, other than being the scapegoat. The other two, yeah, they need to go. Oh my God, they're the ones who are going to show up in your home, and you got your drunk dad destroying the home, beating everybody with a fire poker. The cops are going to stand and go, I don't see the tactical advantage to going hands-on or drawing my pistol for this. Let's see how this turns out. Yeah, those two got to go. I don't know what this sergeant was taken into custody for, or was fired for.
The other guys in this quick ordeal come up behind and help me dig his hands out. We put him in the car. That was the last time that we saw him, or last time that I saw him.
I found Samik at the gas station. He didn't want to be interviewed on camera, but talked to me about what happened. I showed him the surveillance video. Samik argues it's proof he didn't resist and claims at least...
Yeah, it's not proof you didn't resist. If you pull away, if you tense up, that's all by definition resisting. And if you're not going to go in a cut, which is an automatic fight or flight response from the body, and especially if you're drunk, you have no control over it. It's a pain in the ass, trust me.
Another one of Meyer's punches you see him throw landed on his face. LCSO Defensive Tactics Coordinator Captain Scott Griffith deemed the level of force used by Meyer in the video, quote, appeared to be in accordance with LCSO policy and procedures.
As a single person taking somebody into custody, and if that was his arm, the subject's arm wrapped around the officer's neck from behind, then yes, 100% start punching away till the guy complies.
However, had Davidson and Ritchie intervened, it, quote, could have potentially prevented further injuring Mr. Samik.
They're the ones to blame.
Samik also tells me and LCSO investigators the use of force didn't stop there, claiming he was struck by 4 deputies while handcuffed.
There's no fucking way 4 deputies handcuffed. They didn't want to do shit to begin with. Now all of a sudden they're just going to punch you when you're handcuffed? Doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Not a strike, not one where he was handcuffed and secured.
But Meyer and Davidson can't prove that with the video Meyer chose to record on his personal cell phone. The IA summary shows that Samik was handcuffed at 2 a.m., but he wasn't removed from the gas station and taken to the hospital until 3 a.m.
That doesn't matter. That is not that much time at all to pass. Got him in the back of the squad car, The squad car camera is activated to record the subject in the back to make sure they're not trying to escape or take drugs out of their pockets or get their handcuffs out and swallow shit. And then you're going to have to get witness statements. You're going to have to, most of the time, what's going to happen is you're going to fill out that trespassing complaint on scene. And then you're going to go inside and you're going to have the owner sign the complaint. Then you got to sign, you got to have them fill out a witness form. So if it's whatever time, 2 a.m. and the guy's got 5 customers, it's going to take him 10 or 15 minutes to start writing out that sheet of a witness form. And then at the same time, you have to write verbatim what the complaint says. And I don't know if they use computers now. This is how it was in my day. You'd have to write down, as per statute, blah, blah, blah. You have to get out the statute code. And then you have to, verbatim, word for word. And then you have to substitute the subject's name in there. Fill it out. The subject's name, date of birth. Then you got to get their name, date. You got to run them. Once you get them in custody, take their information, run them through dispatch, wait for them to clear, get warrants. And you can do all that in the process, but it's the statements and it's everything else. So you got to clean yourself off. He's wrestling around. He's going to go wash himself up. An hour is nothing. An hour is nothing. So you can easily justify what happened on scene between the time he was there and the time he was transported.
So there is 1 hour that's unaccounted for.
No, it's not.
And the gas station video is long gone. So the potentially incriminating or exonerating evidence is gone for good.
It's better than nothing. Because if we didn't have that video, they'd be going off of strictly his word.
The amount of time that is unaccounted for is simply us doing paperwork.
An action Davidson
What'd I just say? God, I should have been a cop.
admits he can't prove. He also challenges whether Samick was really hurt during his arrest.
I didn't recall seeing any.
And I'm going to tell you flat out, unless they had the squad car camera footage, I would not put it past a guy like that to start smashing his own head into the squad car anywhere he could, up against the screen, up against the window, up against the hard plastic of the door, up against the seat. It does not. There are people who do shit like that to get a payday.
Any medical expert weigh in on the stage of those fractures and in what stage of healing?
You mentioned like his level of healing. Are you saying it could have happened before you guys had encountered him?
Several transients in the area that know him have reported to us on more than one occasion he is often getting in fights.
You saw him for 10 minutes before that happened. You guys kept going back and forth trying to de-escalate. Did he look like he had injuries to his face when that was happening?
No, but I can't see. I don't have an X-ray machine. I can't see inside.
Yeah, you can get punched in the face with nothing visual. Well, that's not uncommon at all.
Face.
The IA summary does not offer a conclusive explanation for Samick's injuries, which include fractures to his jaw.
If this is his left side of the face or the right side of the face that's injured, I can't picture unless he's turning like this. He's got his arm like this. He's turning like this, and he's getting blows like that. Okay, but it's interesting.
And right orbital area.
So I don't know, I can't testify as to what maybe happened in the car. If he was banging his head in the car at some point.
I should have been a fucking cop, man. Holy cow, am I good?
Despite the findings and unanswered questions in the IA summary, Meyer and Davidson don't believe they should have been fired.
And it was always...
No, you on the right, yeah, you should be fired. You should be. This sergeant, I don't have a problem with what he did.
projected at the sheriff's office that if you get into something and you get called into IA or you get called in by a supervisor, and if you tell them the truth and you tell them this is why, that they will take care of you.
I asked 3 independent law enforcement experts.
You just learned the hard way, son. Command staff. Oh my God, I should be on this panel. Panel of the fucking graybeards. Look at this. Yeah.
To review the information and evidence we've been able to collect. Dave Benson, retired as Director of Law Enforcement Training for the United States State Department in Washington, D.C. Jim Durain is a retired FBI Supervisory Special Agent, and Jeff Myers is the former Fort Myers Police Deputy Chief. They all believe Marcino's decision to fire the deputies was reasonable.
And they may not like it. But
And you're all cocksucking politician brass who really forgot exactly what it's like to be a street cop, which is why I do this content, because people like you are so biased. You have alienated yourself from what the job is, which is why these cops do it too worse, too shitty, and why people hate cops, because people like you don't have their back when they do shit lawfully. From that information we just saw, there was no reason to terminate the sergeant on duty. None. From the other ones, the other ones who stood by, yes, get rid of them. They're a liability to the other officers on the department. But the hour unaccounted for, easy. Report writing, paper, witness statements, cleanup, you name it. The handcuffed thing, you can't prove it. Can't prove it. So now if you have no witnesses and it's just a word of a subject versus the word of the officers, you know what? It's moot. And then you don't know what injuries he had if people were saying he was in fights earlier. You guys, you brass, I keep telling you, police brass is the root of all problems in law enforcement, and you're all cocksuckers.
But sometimes the truth hurts. You can't behave this way.
He
and
behaved fine.
That everything's going to be just fine. You have a mugshot.
Yeah, you should have. That was completely, it was justifiable force. Those strikes were not wound up. Those were short, controlled bursts of energy from his fist that are not going to do that much damage, because where he's punching him, he's laying down. How often do we see guys in MMA punching from a position? It doesn't do that much damage.
It looks like someone's been pummeled. And there's no explanation for how that got there.
There are many different techniques to use. They don't all involve force. The guy's hands were down the whole time. He did not make a threatening gesture.
I question why the other officers did not get.
Yeah, because it takes nothing from go to this right away, right? God, you fucking lazy brass. Just shut up, man. Push your pencils, write up the paperwork, do whatever. You good old boys.
Involved and just kind of stood by. It opens up a lot of questions of what actually went on that evening.
Coming up tomorrow on Wink News, the three law enforcement experts discuss what they say was the biggest mistake made during the use of force arrest. They also weigh in on a video of Sheriff Carmine Marcino that I got exclusively from a source where he appears to be sharing his view on use of force. I'm investigative reporter Salim MacArthur, and that is a story you will only see on Wink News.
Yeah, that's... No, the sergeant, I don't think he should have been fired at all. If anybody ever has contact to any of these people, could send it. Send my shit, man. I hope to God it could be used in their defense. And I'll be more than happy to testify on their behalf based on my background when it comes to that shit. Gonna take some of your calls.